It's over 9,000!
Welcome, Super Elite Warriors, to Final Forum, a podcast for the discussion of all things Dragon Ball. I am your host, Jelly, an elite recruiting member of the Frieza Force on a mission to find the best warriors from across the galaxy to join the greatest army of all time, and I am joined, as always, by my new recruit co-host.
This is the Bekinney, and join us as we uncover the cultural inspirations and hidden history behind Akira Toriyama's seminal franchise.
And this is a very special episode, and Bekinney, do you know why this is a special episode?
I have no idea. Please tell me.
It is roughly our 100-somethingth episode.
What?
I really don't know, because I don't know how you would track and categorize our episodes. If you talk about actual true episodes, this is like right around 100. If you add in some of the bonus ones, we're past 100, and then if you also add in the October mini-sodes that we do that only run like 10 minutes and only feature one of us at a time, we've been past 100 for a while already. But
is that the only reason why today is special?
No, it's not. But before we get to that, I do just want to say 100 episodes. It's been almost 4 total years. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. It has really been awesome. I don't think this show would exist without you. Could it? I'm arrogant enough to maybe say yes, but I don't I don't think it would. I don't think I would want to do this without you.
I'm a little surprised. I know we break character all the time here, but I was not expecting this. This is nice. I feel important now.
And also thanks to all of our listeners who have come along with us on the way. And hopefully we've got some new ones, because in addition to this being our 100th episode spectacular, we have invited some new friends to join us today. Joining us from the show, Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z, because why wouldn't you celebrate your Dragon Ball podcast with a show that is all about someone hating the show? We have, first, I'll introduce you guys one at a time. First, we have Spencer.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And we have John.
Hello.
Hey, guys. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
We're here
auditioning for the Frieza Force, and also had no idea that it was your guys' roughly 100th episode. Thank you.
Congratulations. Seriously.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you wanting to share this milestone with us.
Yeah.
When they told me what we were doing today, we had to. It's so ridiculous.
And now, originally, I will say, and we're gonna figure out a way. Spencer and I have already been talking a little bit. We're gonna figure out a way to incorporate Eric into this, because the whole idea behind this was I wanted to get Eric in here because if you've seen the episode title, you kind of know what we're doing already. But I'll explain it more in a minute. I wanted to have someone who has no idea about much Dragon Ball at all and be like, okay, is this thing that you're watching right now from the show? Or is this completely made up? We'll figure out a way to get Eric's feedback and responses on that, because there's a lot of stuff in what we're about to do and watch that is just out of some madman's cocaine-fueled nightmares. What we're doing today is we are taking a look at Dragon Ball The Magic Begins, the unlicensed Taiwanese Dragon Ball live-action movie. We've done this before, kind of.
Yeah.
Bekinney, you remember, we did Fight Son Goku, Win Son Goku.
And it was a magical experience.
It was. So, we thought, why not do that again? We've had pretty good luck, actually, looking at bootleg Dragon Ball stuff. The episode will be forthcoming when this one comes out, actually, but we did also look at a unlicensed Dragon Ball novelization of the video game Dragon Tower.
An NES video game, by the way.
That sounds amazing.
Yes, that was also a very fun episode to do and record, so we're hoping that this goes the same way. So, getting everyone synced up. What we're going to do is we are all right around I would say probably the 17.5 second mark of this movie. If you're watching it via I think it's called the unlimited, or it's something like the unlimited version or something to that effect. And it's the updated version. It's the version that's like on Tubi, that's on Amazon, that's on YouTube, like YouTube movies. And if you're like scanning through YouTube, because there's a bunch of free versions of this that you can watch, it's the one that like looks good. There's two different versions of this you'll see. One is the original release and one is the one with updated effects. In addition to the effects being different, you can just tell just by looking at it that one of them is like really grainy and looks like it's from an old VHS, and one of them looks like it's from at least a DVD. That's the one we're looking at, and we're at the 17.5 second mark. So hopefully that explanation was enough to get everyone synced up. If not, get yourself synced up now, and then get your hands over your play buttons, your pause buttons, your Xbox controllers, your phones. Please don't watch it on your phone, for crying out loud.
Don't you tell those nice people how to live their life.
And I will count us in 3, 2, 1, go. On go, hit play, hit unpause, however you want to do it, and we'll roll and we'll watch this movie. And I have some notes, but in general, it's going to be... I've mostly watched this before. I dipped in and out a little bit in the middle, but I've seen this before. I have some notes. Everyone else is basically blind reacting to this.
Yeah, and it's dubbed, right?
It is dubbed.
Okay, all right. At least I won't have to like read.
Yeah, no idea what we're in for, but we've had a couple of cocaine-fueled nightmares ourselves, so we might be familiar with this kind of product.
Talking about
We'll
movies or personal experience?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good answer.
All right. So here we go. Remember, it's 3, 2, 1, go, and on go you hit play.
Mhm.
In 3, 2, 1, go. All
Got
right.
it.
So
we got a golden Shenron. Well,
we're
I
all
don't
looking
know
at
for sure.
a very, very good CG version of a golden Shenron, yes.
Yes. Top tier, good quality.
This is some Pixar stuff right here.
It's amazing.
Ooh, those eyes.
Those eyes
Yes.
are just human eyes dropped into a 3D model.
No, they're not. They're beautiful.
It's giving like PS1 graphics.
So
Yeah.
if you can believe that these are the updated effects.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this included, right? Like, this is part of the fun
Yes.
re-release they did?
Yes. So this movie originally came out in 1991, and that's I've got some notes, I've got some stuff, but feel free to jump in and interject and jump over me because my notes just kind of go all over the place. Oh, look at these
Okay.
spaceships.
Wait, huh? What?
Whoa, spaceships.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
Those
hang
don't look
on.
like attack balls.
Is this okay? I know we're in like illegal territory. This is unofficial movie and all that stuff. Does it in any way connect to the lore of the wider Dragon Ball Z, or is this purely in Dragon Ball realm?
Purely Dragon Ball. And if
Okay.
you're looking for the closest comparison point, it is the
Oh, look at that. Dragon
Curse
Ball.
of the Blood Rubies movie. That's
Curse?
the closest comparison point.
Okay.
So-
Which
Okay.
I also haven't seen, but okay.
Okay, so then an extraordinarily loose retelling of the Pilaf arc.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's what Curse of the Blood Rubies is, and then this is an extraordinarily loose version of that. so you're multiple steps removed. Also, by the way, if you're watching this, there's like a janky camera motion.
I was about to
Like,
say, it's like stuttering.
Like jittery. Yeah, that
Oh,
does
yeah.
go away.
Okay.
Well,
It
that's
does go
nice.
away.
What the? Oh, okay. They're not cheering for the ships. I gotcha.
No. So this movie was originally directed in 1991 by
Okay.
Chonglang Chen. It's unlicensed,
Oh.
unofficial. And unlike a different unlicensed, unofficial adaptation we talked about, this has actually been released in multiple iterations in the US on home video and streaming in at least a somewhat professional capacity. You can find Fight Son Goku, Win Son Goku on YouTube or Internet Archive, but those versions are not, to use like to use a singular word, they are not legit. The magic begins, however. This movie has been released on Tubi, Amazon Prime, and seen multiple home video releases in America.
That's
can
kind
see
of
why
insane.
already.
I guess I'll say for posterity's sake, I'm unsure if the DVD releases are actually official in any way, or if someone just took what is weirdly an actually good-looking version of this movie that like somehow exists for some reason still and slapped it onto a disc.
That transition was great, dude.
Yeah.
It was way better than I was expecting.
Loving these outfits. These are great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so this is like, these characters are named like Zibrata and I forget. But this is almost like, this was a question I was going to ask Eric, was like, okay, even though these characters not in this exact form exist, the main villain is a angry blue guy and he has a male sidekick and a female sidekick. Is that from Dragon Ball or no?
You know what?
So-
Now that I know this takes place in the Dragon Ball world, I am not going to be able to answer your questions. I don't think I will know.
Well, then I guess the only option is for you to listen to every episode of our podcast.
Yeah, and find out. Yeah.
Sold.
So what I could find out about the studio that put this movie onto disc in the US is that it's Tai Sang Entertainment, and they actually were, apparently, a legitimate distributor of martial arts films in the US, but they were like a fly-by-night company that had no qualms about operating in the gray areas of licensing and distribution, and they first put
Okay.
this movie out on home video in the US in 1993, which would insanely make it the first home video release of Dragon Ball anything in the US.
Amazing.
That is pretty nuts. This invasion scene is going, huh?
Yeah.
That release was not in English and had no subtitles.
Oh, wow.
It was released with the involvement from a company called NYUE Enterprises, which was a shop that sold Hong Kong cinema tapes in New York in the 1990s. Based on a person on like the Blu-ray.com forums procuring a copy of this VHS tape in 2020, there's like a long-standing myth about this movie that was busted. Oh, and here's your villain.
He is blue.
He's named Garumas after King Gorbei from the Curse of the Blood Rubies, but in this it's been changed to the legally distinct King Horn.
I was going to say it's probably hard for him to find a hat.
King Horn is a very good Dragon Ball villain name.
It also sounds like something you could maybe pick up at a bakery that would be delicious.
Oh, yes.
All these effects that you're seeing, like with the electricity crackling off of him and his eyes glowing and stuff, those were added to the
Okay.
unlimited version of the movie, the re-release version that was...
Is this where George Lucas got the idea then?
Yes, probably.
He saw this and went, of course I need to do this to my movies as well.
No, that was from 2007, so these actually post-date the special editions.
Holy
by what?
crap.
Yeah, it's madness. Um, the myth that got busted when this person tracked down this really old VHS tape is that the movie was originally called Dragon's Pearl in order to sidestep legal issues. That version of the movie that this person found was still called Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins, and every subsequent version anyone's ever found has also been called that. So the theory then is that the kanji that's used in the title can be interpreted as pearl due to connotations and the way it's typically used in China. But that's then just a translation error on the part of a random person who was translating this title who was unfamiliar with Dragon Ball as a franchise, because it's the same kanji that's been used for official versions of Dragon Ball in Chinese markets as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, just a lot of crazy stuff. I couldn't find anything else about Tai Sang or NYUE aside from some lists of titles, none of which I recognized, and many of which seemed like they were just legally distinct rip-off versions of more popular movies. You know, titles like Dragon Tiger Gate or Iron Monkey 2 or Shaolin Drunken Monk or New Crouching Tiger Hidden Dragon with the new...
Just new. Just throw new in front. It's fine.
With new being like very small on the cover of the movie.
Oh, man.
Which then also lends believability, at least, to that long-held but ultimately unproven idea that this movie went by a different title at some point.
Right.
So that's kind of where it all kind of comes from. This is Grandpa Gohan, by the way.
I was just going to ask. He looks exactly like grown-up Gohan, so he take family resemblance. Was it the 4-star ball on the pedestal? It's got to be.
It
right?
was actually, yes.
Okay.
They
paid
mention
attention?
in the dialogue at some point. They say, the 4-star ball is over there. That was a question I also had for Eric. Was like, is Goku actually usually associated with the 4-star ball, or not necessarily?
He might get that one.
Ooh. This whole situation with this movie is wild. There was actually like a decent amount of information back when we did Fight Son Goku, Win Son Goku about that we could find about the director, the writer, the stars, and even the studio behind that movie, including we found connections to Hyungray Shim, star of the Yongu franchise that was popular in Korea, and one of the driving forces behind the creation of the movies Yongari 1999, aka Reptilian is how it was released here, and D-War, Dragon Wars. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that movie at all.
No, not at all.
Okay,
Holy
that
crap!
movie was like...
That's
there's the power pole.
The power pole, yeah.
That movie, D-War, was like, I think, at its time, the widest released Korean film in the U.S. and the highest budgeted Korean film ever. And it did not do well. But we found all these connections and all this stuff to talk about with this other movie that has never had an official release.
Yeah.
and it's kind of buried and it only exists through fan preservation. Meanwhile, I couldn't find out anything about this movie aside from very basic facts that are readily apparent when watching the movie, but you can watch it in like, this is really good looking quality, actually.
It's true. It's really good.
On sites like Tubi or Amazon, and not just on like YouTube channels like Sean's Movie Depot, but actual YouTube official channels. This is some great wire work.
This is fantastic,
this is not
dude.
bad at all.
Like, for what I expected?
Uh-huh.
I honestly was not expecting this.
He's using his burrowing technique.
His burrowing. Wait,
Yes,
does Goku
use
ever
dig.
do that?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, good. That's
There's another
a really good
question,
if it's not
for
on the
Eric
list.
there.
Yeah. He won't know.
Can Goku burrow through the ground like Bugs Bunny?
That
What?
shot's wild, where his
Did he
foot
kick
just
through
passes
it?
through
Went
the...
right
Okay.
through.
So I could find some things, though, a little bit. The director, like I mentioned at the top, is Chun Liang Chen, born in 1942 in Beiyang, Taiwan, died 2016 in Taipei, Taiwan. He directed another movie I've seen, but I'm going to bury the lead on that for a moment because it opens me up to a very tangential, almost unrelated avenue of discussion.
Okay.
So-
okay.
Oh boy.
But I do have it in case we need something to talk about.
All right. I dig their costumes, man. I just noticed that it's pretty close to the Dragon Ball. Like, I thought the colors were off, but then I remembered in Dragon Ball he's got a darker
He's more red,
color.
yeah.
Yeah. And this
A lot of
fight
this
scene
stuff
is
is
so
good.
fun.
Like,
Yeah.
not only is the fight scene fun, a lot of the prop work is really good. A lot of the props looks like they built for it. I want to know how much one of those dragon pearls are, and I mean
Right?
like the actual ones that they used for this movie. Can we go find them?
That'd be
That's a
interesting.
good question. I wonder what happened to him.
Also, like, I mean, if you noticed at the beginning, and you'll kind of see it
Oh my
again
God.
in the climax of the movie, hundreds of extras.
Yes.
Yeah, that I was going to
So
say
many
that.
people.
Like the crowd work on that was insane with the
Mhm.
actual explosions and stuff.
Yeah.
Like this movie had money behind it. I thought it was just going to be like a weird little indie project from,
No,
the
this
90s.
looks like it had real money behind it. And I actually I think I'll get to it. I have like a theory behind that to an extent. But starring as not Goku, but Monkey Boy is Chi Chang Chen, born in 1975 in Pingtung, Taiwan, and a working actor to this day, currently appearing in the Taiwanese TV series called First Light, or Yu Zhao Dei Wan Tao Ji Shi Ai,
No
Or-
way. That's awesome.
or First Light. Sounds a hell of a lot easier to say.
They call him
we're-
Monkey Boy. Does he have a tail?
No, he does not have a tail, nor does
Okay.
he transform at any point in this movie. Spoilers. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
I kind of wanted to see a giant CGI Ozaru.
I
Oh,
mean,
wait
of
until you
course, who
guys-
doesn't? Yeah.
Wait until you guys see Oolong in this movie. It's gonna be like a collective aneurysm.
Okay.
good.
Awesome.
Wonderful. There's a
So
ton
pretty-
of face acting in this movie that is perfect.
It's really good for like cartoon esque
Mhm.
stuff. Like it's like a live action cartoon.
I
This
couldn't
stuff,
find
like
anything.
the wire
like,
work for this, and it's just like a scene of him running through the forest.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yep.
find anything, about like the biography of these actors, but I do wonder if they came from the Peking opera, like a lot of Chinese actors did, which is like where like Jackie Chan actually came from. Is they would like essentially buy children from their families when they were very young and put them in these like Peking opera art schools and teach them to do like this operatic stage driven type of performance. And that's where like all the big facial expressions and face mugging kind of comes from, is because they were taught to project to like a live
Ah.
audience. I couldn't find that about these guys. And I mean, it's Taiwan, not China, so I'm sure it's like not exactly like a 1-to-1, but there's obviously some cross-cultural assimilation there with Taiwan and China. This scene right here, this is like from the first episode of Dragon Ball.
Of Dragon Ball. Nice.
Yeah, and this is like one of the first panels in the manga is Goku leaping off a waterfall into the water. But then he does not.
Wow.
Oh, that's an alligator. That's a real alligator that they got and trained for that scene.
Absolutely.
Look
Look
at
at how fluid the motion is on that.
Oh,
But then he does not fight an alligator. He just catches a fish with his tail.
Well, it makes sense why they replaced it. Oh no.
oh. Yeah, that's how you wrestle a gator.
Oh, punching the gator. Oh my god. The gator laughs.
Oh yeah, the gator laughs and taunts him.
That's
Well, that
beautiful.
is actually very in line with Dragon Ball.
It
stuff,
is, yeah. Bulma?
So here we have Bulma, or as she's called in this, C2.
Huh?
C2?
C2?
Seetou. C2.
Wow.
Oh, okay. All right.
What
I
a good
didn't
character
get a chance.
introduction.
I didn't get a chance to look into that. This is very similar to the manga and the original anime as well, to an extent at least. In fact, this outfit that she's wearing is super, super similar to original concept art that Toriyama drew for Bulma,
Interesting.
where she was. In order to emphasize that Bulma was from the West, he was going to have her dressed initially like a cowgirl.
It's a good way to get it across.
Because, engineers and scientists typically deck themselves out in cowboy gear.
Yes.
All the time.
In America.
Yeah, well, I mean, because they're American. Everybody dresses like a cowboy in America.
Of course.
It's just what we do.
C2 is played by Jenny Hsieh, Hsieh, who's actually probably the biggest star of this movie. She's a singer, songwriter, dancer, actress, and model known for EDM that she also combines with techno, hip-hop, synth-pop, bubblegum, and sentimental ballads, all mixed with various languages, including Taiwanese, Hokkien, Mandarin, Cantonese, and English.
Whoa. You said EDM, is that like a more recent thing? She'd have to be, I figured, pretty like older.
Yeah, she got like discovered in the mid 90s. She's a little bit older. She's like 50.
Okay.
She's an idol in both Taiwan and China, and her 2013 single Sister has over 30 million views on YouTube.
Nice.
Whoa.
It's been said that her use of Hokkien with hip-hop was revolutionary for Taiwan, and while she made her debut in TV and film, it looks like music has always been her goal, as it's what she's consistently done since like 1994. She occasionally appears in what I think is like stunt casting in movies, and most recently in the 2018 Taiwanese movie How to Train Our Dragon, proving that Taiwanese ripoff film landscape is alive and well.
That's amazing.
Wonderful.
Also, Bulma just shot Goku with a machine gun.
That's
actually canon.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
This sequence is like straight out of original Dragon Ball.
Awesome.
What else about Jenny? Details about her life, even in English articles that I found, are like really sparse and poorly translated, but it seems like she had a generally strained relationship with her parents, with them being divorced and her eventually having a child out of wedlock, which in that culture in any culture that puts some strain on people, but especially in like Chinese, Taiwanese culture. Her father, Chu Ke Liang, was actually a star in his own right, but he married 4 times and had 5 children across those 4 marriages. Ke Liang was one of Taiwan's biggest TV stars of the 1980s and eventually became involved in politics, helping James Sung in his campaign for governorship of Taiwan. He also racked up gambling debts over the course of his life in excess of $5 million despite an annual income of about $2 million, and fled into hiding in the mid-90s in order to escape his debts owed to both his managers and underworld figures who were seeking physical retribution for the money he owed. During his hiding, he was often seen by fans who remembered him, and in 2009 he was outed by the media, which led to his debts being largely forgiven on the condition he returned to acting and pay large portions of his salaries to his debtors. In 2014, Ke Liang was diagnosed with colorectal cancer and, fearing adverse effects of surgery and chemotherapy, attempted various homeopathic and untested remedies instead. Then in 2016, when he finally had to undergo surgery instead, he said, quote, "I should have believed in the evidence-based medicine 2 years ago," unquote.
Wow.
Not to inject my personal politics into this, but I felt that was an important message to get across these days. He had another daughter, Ji Jingjing, who would be then Jenny's half-sister, who was discovered by talent agents in 2013 and has been in the recording industry in Taiwan since 2014. I attempted to look into James Sung also, but to have something to talk about there, but it gets into this weird rabbit hole of political affiliations with him being... it's like he's partially right of center and associated with this party, but also leads this party. And I was like, there's way too much going on in Chinese and Taiwanese politics for me to be able to speak to it.
That's totally fair.
Smart move.
Oh, they are calling them Dragon Pearls. It's the first time I've heard it in movie. So they've got the 4 and 5. Evil guy Kinghorn has 2 others, so they're searching for 3.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes, they're coming for Grandpa Gohan. Which this is like in Dragon Ball, Grandpa Gohan is long dead.
Like when it starts?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is just like Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah.
Oh, God, why?
You're welcome. Because we all had to suffer, okay? Sometimes I just have to bring it up and share it.
I'll be right back. I gotta go find that 10-minute clip of Goku sliding on his head across the hood of the car.
Yay!
This is maybe Dragon Ball Evolution was based on this.
Could be.
That would be amazing. I would love that.
Explain a lot.
But then my follow-up question would be like, why did you guys make a worse movie?
So you can easily look up other actors involved in this production, and none of them have careers extending past the mid-90s or appear in anything you've ever even tangentially heard of, aside from Chong Yu Huang, who is this film's Roshi, who we'll meet later on. He managed to maintain some sort of career into the 2000s, last appearing in 2022 in a TV series that I could butcher the name of again and let you know that it's Mei Li Jiangshang. And
can I just say that this blue gentleman with the Lady Gaga outfit here has the best stink face that I've ever seen?
Right?
It's really good.
It's professional.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the best
so much
outfit
about his
that
character.
I've ever seen. I want
the
that
shoulders
outfit.
are very nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing. They blew him out of the well with an explosive.
It was very
very Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers, the way that movie ends.
good.
Yeah, you can look up the director and writer as well, and you'll just see a list of titles you've never heard of or that sound vaguely like other real movies. It's madness trying to find anything out about this movie, which brings me to, I'll just do a general, I mean, again, feel free to interrupt at any point, a general discussion of the Taiwanese film industry, since there's very little else to talk about if we're getting to some of these more down moments. Film was first introduced in the early 1900s in Japan through Japanese colonizers, and the Taiwanese film industry has historically had a lot of government funding then, including a government-maintained film fund that exists to this day to financially support much of the film industry. There's been some recent debate and controversy over whether this should be maintained, but it still has majority support. I think we're going to be getting to Oolong soon, and your brains will break. But
I'm excited.
No body for Grandpa though. Interesting.
Oh yeah, good
that
pickup.
sucks. Your grandpa's
Clearly.
dead. I guess you have to come with me.
He was atomized.
Could have been, but we didn't see it. That's all I'm saying.
So through the very early 1900s, like pre-World War II, Japan used proceeds from movies distributed in Taiwan to fund their military efforts and used film itself to attempt to aid in its imperialization and cultural assimilation projects in Taiwan. Unlike Manchuria, which is China, where Japan wound up establishing a bunch of production houses, Taiwan never became an important production market for the Japanese film industry, instead serving as an exhibition market for its newsreels, shorts, and educational features. That's the very earliest history of film in Taiwan. And also, okay, Goku can fly.
Goku can fly, and he runs
awesome.
faster than the Jeep, which I also love. This is actually a really cool shot because he is on wire. I assume they sped it up, but that was awesome.
I like how Bulma just casually grabbed him out of the
grabbed
air.
him. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I guess she's a martial artist now too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against it.
In Dragon Ball, Goku does not fly for the first time until he fights Piccolo Jr.
Yeah, he's got the Nimbus Cloud, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess you would. That's just too expensive.
Not for Fight Son Goku, Win Son Goku.
That was also like a bunch of cotton taped over a like
An
cart.
action figure.
Oh yeah, there was the action figure too. I forgot about that. Don't worry though, Nimbus will appear. Which then makes even less sense why they had him fly just there. In the 1950s in Taiwan, after the end of the Chinese Civil War, many filmmakers sympathetic to the Chinese nationalists fled to Taiwan and began making movies there, which caused a boom in the industry, and yet movies were still often made in Taiwanese Hokkien rather than Mandarin, with only about 10% of movies being filmed in Mandarin until the late 60s and early 70s, when the ratio finally flipped due to the declining marketability of movies filmed in Hokkien, like internationally.
Oh no, the Nog
Oh
Nooch.
man,
That's a
Bulma's
sweet Jeep. I can't believe they did that.
Yeah, so early on.
Wow. Wait, is that Harry Potter? What's going on her forehead? Who's that?
It's Harry Potter. You nailed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's the girl who lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just drove away. She definitely lived.
This was another one where I was going to be like, all right, very early on in Dragon Ball,
All right.
Goku and Bulma have their means of transportation destroyed. That's a thing that happens. Do they get on an animal to take them the rest of the way?
That is a
The
real
answer is-
elephant. Which,
the
like,
answer
I
is
know
no.
there's more out there, but it's cool that it's a real elephant.
They bust out hoi poi capsules and just pick out a. She picks out like a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the 80s, so we're getting close to when this movie came out, Taiwan underwent a significant film reform movement that became known as Taiwan New Cinema or Taiwan New Wave, which saw many filmmakers eschew the Hong Kong wuxia film aesthetics that had grown popular in the 60s and 70s in favor of more realistic portrayals of Taiwanese life and social reality, offering a more introspective look into the lives of common people. This is where we're starting to get into my theories about why this movie kind of turned out the way it did and also looks like it had a budget. So this movement further increased the divide between Hong Kong cinema and Taiwanese cinema as the movies focused less on commercial success and more on taboo subject matter that you weren't allowed to talk about under Chinese martial law. The Taiwanese New Cinema movement was instrumental in breaking barriers for subjects deemed improper to discuss under Chinese martial law and paved the way for the Taiwanese films of the 90s that managed to blend some more accurate and realistic... Oh, here's Oolong.
Oh my god.
Huh?
Okay.
What? No. Yes?
I almost hate to ask the question, but would we consider that blackface?
Oh, absolutely.
Which is weird because Oolong, like, just make him pink face.
Right. Like maybe the prosthetics were really bad?
I like how they did the hair, though.
It's like they
The
got
hair looks
someone
pretty crazy, yeah.
who had seen Dragon Ball once, like decades ago, even though this movie was made like 5 years after Dragon Ball started. But it's like they got someone who saw Dragon Ball once, like decades ago, and he was like, all right, there's this all black character, and there's also this pig who tries to chase after women. I think those are the same character,
They
right?
just combined them both. Uh-huh.
But yeah, the Taiwanese New Cinema movement paved the way for the films of the 90s that blended more accurate and realistic depictions of life in Taiwan with a focus on commercial success, and it actually allowed Ang Lee's rise to fame.
Oh.
So here's what I think happened with this movie, is we're in the midst of this new wave cinema movement where movies are focusing more on subjects that the Chinese government don't want Taiwan to cover, because they're talking about how difficult it is to be a Taiwanese person while the communist government is trying to like seize them and make them part of the People's Republic of China and all this stuff. And in an effort to smooth some of those tensions over, using the government film funds, they make this movie to be like a more blockbustery, commercial, readily marketable film, because it's got all those like wuxia elements to it, like those wire work and Hong Kong and kung fu, and it's based on a popular franchise. Like this is like a marketable movie that they're trying to get out. That's my theory.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense just looking at it.
You know, he doesn't look much like Oolong, but they They definitely did a pretty good job of kind of conveying what the character is like.
Just wait. He doesn't look like this the whole movie, actually.
Huh.
He eventually, pretty soon, he gets hit so hard, it knocks the black out of him.
No. No way.
What?
Yeah, it's
can
coming.
he teleport? Is that what happened?
Yeah, was that what the teleportation?
Yeah, they teleported to a different day of shooting.
Well, space and time are connected, so.
Yeah.
Now, as Ang Lee's success paved the way for further integration of Hollywood and Taiwanese film together, the Taiwanese film industry faced significant challenges as attempts to compete with the wave of American importation caused the obvious deficiencies in films produced in Taiwan to become more readily obvious to its viewers. And in the mid-90s, production of Taiwanese films declined to fewer than 20 per year, from a peak in the 60s of over 120 per year. The increasing popularity of piracy also caused the near collapse of the Taiwanese film industry in the late 90s, and it wasn't until 2008, with the success of a movie called Cape No. 7, that the Taiwanese film industry finally began to recover. Cape No. 7 became the most successful Taiwanese film ever, remains that to this day in terms of domestic movies, and is the second highest grossing movie in Taiwanese box office history, number one being Titanic.
That's interesting. Wow.
All right.
And
Also,
it seems like since then, the Taiwanese film industry has managed to kind of find its footing, find its niche. Movies are consistently capable of reaching domestic success in Taiwan, and in some cases they get international recognition, with movies like 2011's Cetic Bale being nominated for an Academy Award even, and movies produced in the past 10 years, like I said, consistently break into the top 10 of Taiwanese box office returns all time.
Perfect. That was perfect. That whole sequence was
Goku
insane.
just pulled a Jace. Stand there and let him punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Oh,
he becomes a bat too. Just wow. This shapeshifting is. At least they leaned into it.
Right.
There you go.
Oh wow!
Oolong just got hit so hard.
Oh,
he looks so much better.
He just got hit so hard, he's not black anymore.
Or a pig.
I like the sunglasses too. That's a good.
like physically, he's still,
Right. Yeah.
And he says, "This is my normal form."
Normal form.
Which really, to me, makes his previous form seem even more like blackface.
If he's choosing that, for sure. It's a little weird.
Uh-huh.
Also, is that the girl, I forgot to ask this, but the girl that got chased down by Oolong, is that Chi-Chi?
No, that's so in the anime and in the manga, when they meet Oolong, he's like terrorizing a town with one of his shapeshifted forms, and he demands like the young girls of the village to come live with him.
Okay.
And that's just one of those girls.
Weird to know that's how Oolong started.
Well, it sounds bad until you actually get to where he was living with all these girls, and it turns out that they were all running him.
Oh.
This is Yamcha and Puar.
What? What?
Serious downgrade for Puar.
The bird is Puar.
On the cowboy's shoulder.
On the cowboy from both the future that hasn't happened and the 80s that never did.
Huge downgrade for Puar, but huge upgrade for Yamcha.
I mean...
Also, Yamcha having a gun is great.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's got a big old LMG. All right. I also like the voice acting for Yamcha. I'll send you to hell. I'm gotta go to smoke.
The movie was shot mostly in the forests of Nantou County in Taiwan, the second largest county in Taiwan, and its only completely landlocked county. Nantou County was the site of the 1999 Chi-Chi earthquake, which is actually the second deadliest earthquake in Taiwan's history after the 1935 Shinchiku Taichu quake. And in 2004, a documentary about that earthquake called Life was made, which caused a bit of a documentary explosion in Taiwan for a while. Then, especially more so than they had seen in almost their history, because their history is tied to Japan using quote-unquote documentaries as propaganda to try to, like, brainwash people. So historically, there's not been a lot of documentary success in Taiwan.
That costume is so much better.
That is incredible
for Yamcha. That's the Yamcha I know and love.
I am loving all of the choreography in this movie.
It's fantastic.
That's where I really think that these actors might have come from Peking Opera, because these aren't actors; these are stunt people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't appear like there's a lot of difference between, like, it kind of looks like those are the actors doing some of these.
I know it does, especially like at the beginning where Goku did like just 5 backflips right at the end of one of his lines. I figured that was he might be a stunt guy. Perfect.
That was excellent.
Whoa.
So all the like little like digital flourishes on everything are not in the original version of this. So it'll just be it's basically the same exact movie. You just don't get like the little like additional sparks, or like when Goku burst out of that pile of bricks, there were a couple of digital bricks. They like must have thought that in their original takes there weren't enough bricks, so they added some digitally, like just little things like that. And I cannot find out what madman was responsible for in 2007 deciding to take an unlicensed movie from 1991 and being like, you know what? Let's do all new digital effects.
Yeah.
And
it's absolutely
clean
insane.
It up.
Like for Star Wars, it was still weird, but like it made so much money at the time. I get it. But this is just out of nowhere. It feels like it would be anyway.
And you'd think like, okay, Star Wars, it makes sense, even though George Lucas is George Lucas, and and he's sticking to the special editions even to this day as the only thing that you're allowed to watch, unless you go to like originaltrilogy.com or Harmy's.
What?
Why are we suddenly full CGI?
Oh, don't worry about that.
What?
What? No, I'm worried about it. I'm worried about it because I don't understand what's happening.
This must be like an extended scene that they did for this version of the movie, right?
I think so. I don't think this exists in the...
This might be the reason why this exists.
They were like, that needs some punching up. So let's make these very, very realistic. Better than the Burly Brawl from Matrix Revolutions looking digital creations, and have them go at it.
This is an anomalous film.
Yeah.
So like I can't like Star Wars, even just as a marketing gimmick, even if George Lucas wasn't going to be George Lucas and stick with the special editions as the edition, as a marketing gimmick, being like, hey, it's Star Wars with all new effects, makes sense and is going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, let's add a whole bunch of new effects into a movie that's we can't legally distribute.
It's a passion project.
It must have
maybe
been.
It's maybe it was a big part of that person's childhood. I don't know.
Possibly, or maybe they just showed the right person with money, like the original version, and they were like, "Yes, sign me up for distributing this thing."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sir, do you know anybody who understands CGI? No, I don't care. Get whoever.
And I can't find out anything. And it's like, so I'm a big like Godzilla movie and kaiju movie fan. The Ultraman franchise has a situation like this happening where a company called Chayo for decades claimed that they had the international distribution rights to Ultraman because it was written on legitimately like written on a napkin. It was like the plot of Glass Onion. Like they claim that Eiji Tsuburaya's son wrote them a napkin that gave them international distribution rights to Ultraman. And for decades, all the Ultraman releases that you'd get in the US were really, really crap quality. And there were even a couple of like unlicensed Chayo Ultraman movies made. The big one is called Hanuman and the Ultra Brothers versus something or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like it features the Hindi character Hanuman, who's actually the basis for Sun Wukong, who's the basis for Goku.
Oh,
yeah.
And he like takes on the Ultramen, and then they all fight and everything. And it's a really crazy movie where like a kid gets like blasted in the face with a shotgun off of a motorcycle and then dragged for 50 feet.
Whoa.
It's a wild movie.
Sick.
It sounds like it. Jeez.
And I'm wondering if this is like a situation like that where like this company is like, oh no, we have Akira Toriyama told us we could do this. and with international copyright law being like weird sometimes and ill-defined compared to like US copyright law, I wonder if they could just like get away with it.
It seems like that's exactly what happened. You said it was like on Amazon and Tubi now, so it's like worldwide. Yeah,
it's happened. Yeah. Oh,
wait a minute. That wasn't part of the opening, was it?
Someone got really carried away with the effects, though. Like, not only does he glimmer and gleam, but like every time he does, they add a sound effect that almost drowns out the audio.
Yep.
I don't know why you would want to criticize high art like this.
Yeah, listen, I know a thing or two about sound. All right. This is perfect. This is grade A stuff.
No notes.
I aspire to this level.
Okay, you guys would love this movie that I have. Again, I've told Bekinney about this movie, and I've told our listeners before. And when I say love, I mean on the same ironic level that you're loving this. It is
ironic.
I think you can watch it online. It's called Dragon Lizard Lord Super Monsters. It's made by
I love it already.
It is made by a guy named Omar Syah, who's a huge Godzilla fan, who in the late 90s literally stitched together by hand a bunch of Godzilla costumes and suits and made a bunch of fan films.
Whoa.
Oh,
he
he's
then
a fursuiter.
wanted to release them as a movie, and like a little company that legitimately operates out of a guy's garage in California was like, listen, I'll do it. Like, I would love to release your home movies as a movie, but you can't call it Godzilla because I will get sued. And so he went back through and re-recorded brand new dialogue over all these short films and attempted to stitch them together into a singular movie. And it is I say with no hyperbole, the legitimately worst movie I have ever seen in my entire life. And I love every second of it.
Wow.
Outstanding.
So we're going to do a commentary on it at some point, right?
Nice.
We'll have to.
How could you not?
The first time I ever watched it, the first time I ever saw it, about 45 minutes in, because I think it's like an hour 20 long. About 45 minutes in, do you guys like Red Letter Media?
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I hate those guys. They suck.
We talk about them all the time. John watches every video.
Yeah.
Okay. See. So, do you know that there's a best of the worst where they're doing Christmas movies and Mike's brain just snaps?
Yes.
And he starts laughing and he just can't stop. That happened to me watching Dragon Lizard Lord Super Monsters. about 45 minutes in, my mind snapped, and I laughed hysterically for about half an hour and couldn't stop.
That's awesome. That's a special
Wonderful.
movie.
That's definitely one I have to watch now.
It was just that perfect combination of like, this is so bad, and also, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a complete existential meltdown. It's wonderful.
So back when I talked about the director, Chun-Liang Chen, I mentioned he did another movie that I've actually seen. That movie is called Child of Peach. It was released in 1987. It is a wild fever dream of a movie also, which I'm sure is surprising to you guys watching this.
Yep.
Indeed.
It makes this movie seem to make a little more sense if you've seen that movie, in that it's just like what he did then.
Okay, he's got a type.
The movie is based on the story of Momotaro, a popular hero of Japanese folklore. Momotaro is translated as Peach Boy and tells the story of a boy born from a giant peach found by an old childless woman who was washing her clothes. The child then explains he is sent by the gods to be the son of the woman, and that's Kame House, by the way.
God, that looks so
Yeah!
good. That
Wow.
looks so good. It's
On
like
an
a real
actual little island.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
That's fantastic.
That is better than the Kame House of Fight Son Goku, Win Son
Oh.
Goku, which was like
Wow.
a child's playset. Remember that?
This place makes perfect sense for Master Roshi.
Oh, wow.
Well, now.
Oh. Okay.
That.
Oh, wow. The shirt with the letters on it like that?
There he goes.
Yeah, this guy is a trip.
Oh, this is incredible. This is it's so worth it just for this scene alone.
Wow, you said this guy actually has a career?
A little bit, at least in Taiwanese
I mean,
film.
Look at
What a
this. You're going to
question.
tell me this guy doesn't have a career
No, I'm
after this?
saying,
Come
yeah,
on.
he's doing fantastic.
That's Flying Nimbus, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad you said so, because would not have guessed.
And yes, Roshi can fly in it for some reason still. Oh, you guys don't know that because you haven't watched original Dragon Ball. He can't in original Dragon Ball
okay.
because he's
a pervy
he's
old
too
man.
lecherous.
Mm.
Oh, there it goes.
So yeah, Momotaro is about this little boy, and he's like, "Oh, the gods sent me to be your son." When he becomes an adolescent, he then fights a band of Oni who were terrorizing his parents. And along the way, he befriends a talking dog, a talking monkey, and a talking pheasant. And then they conquer the Oni. They return to Momotaro's parents with many treasures that they pilfer from the Oni's caves. You could see a lot of similarities, Bekinney, there with Journey to the West, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the story of Momotaro dates back to the days of oral storytelling. The movie, Child of Peach, is an insane fever dream of pure insanity that is only very, very loosely based on the legend, and it winds up featuring a giant puppet, not puppy, made of peaches, peeing on the villain and then drop-kicking him through a wall.
Wow.
Huh.
Momotaro is actually a significant figure in Japan, acting almost as an Uncle Sam type of figure during times of war, including the various Sino-Japanese wars, and even becoming a cartoon propaganda character during World War II, where he was a stand-in for Japan itself, and the Oni that he fought were meant to be the various allied forces. Momotaro now enjoys association with Okayama City as its legendary hero and defender, but this is a recent association created only in the post-World War II days. And if you're looking for if you're listening to this commentary and you're looking for a good companion piece commentary to this one, check out our Fight Son Goku, Win Son Goku episode, where we briefly talked about the history of knockoff cinema and mockbusters in general, and then talked a lot about Korean mockbusters, which are also insane. They have, if you look it up, a friend of mine runs a blog called Mazer Patrol, and if you just look up Mazer Patrol Korean knockoff cinema, you'll find his blog post about it. He has tons of a very complete write-up, and then like tons of pictures of like their Ninja Turtles movie is like, remember the Playmates Ninja Turtles toys?
Yeah. Had
The
the whole set when I was a
costumes,
kid.
the costumes look exactly like those.
Wow.
Like it's like
Okay.
those walking around.
You know what?
Terrifying.
I'd be willing to watch that.
The bad thing is a lot of those things are not dubbed or subtitled or anything, right? Like when we did Fight Son Goku, Win Son Goku, we learned that there is sequels. And it's actually like there's 4 miniseries length sequels. They're like at about an hour and 10 minutes long. I found them on YouTube, but they're not subtitled or dubbed.
Oh,
They're just
man.
raw Korean.
That's wild.
And in them, I don't know like how entertaining they would be to watch compared to that movie or even this movie without like subtitles, because Goku is no longer like a crazy kung fu fighter. He's like a police detective.
It's a good idea for a spinoff.
Yes, let's take the canonically dumbest character and make him a detective.
Of course.
Yeah, I would watch it. That's amazing, actually.
Isn't that what Columbo was?
Hey.
He was pretty clever. He was kind of schlubby, though. I think that was mostly his downturn.
I never really watched Columbo. I only know Columbo because the actor is the old man from Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I never even connected those dots. I love the way
Look
he
at that
walks.
strut, man.
It's so
I said,
good.
look at his swagger.
It's unparalleled.
Yeah,
This man is constantly aura farming.
he's very good. The only one we're missing now is Krillin, I think.
Not in the story arc that we're adapting.
Oh, he doesn't come until later?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's no Krillin in this movie either?
That was a pretty good effect.
I've seen that in cartoons 1,000 times. I've only seen it in live action once. Maybe twice if you
Maybe
count.
two.
Judge.
Was it maybe twice? Because have you seen The Mask?
Oh, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this guy's knee. He took some tumbles making this
I mean,
movie.
he is on an island full of rocks. I bet he had some bad takes of that fight scene we just watched.
Let's say that lends some further credence to these weren't just actors, they were stunt performers theory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, Bekinney, we were just talking about that. I thought we were talking about that with some movie recently. I thought we were. I can't remember now. Where like the actors were consistently getting hurt, and then they finally hired stunt actors.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't remember specifically what movie that was.
I can't remember why we were talking about that. There was like a movie that we were watching or something, and it was like they were too broke to hire stunt performers, and then like the actors kept getting hurt in the wire rigs. It might have been, I can't remember. But then they finally hired some stunt. It might have been Fight Son Goku, Win Son Goku.
I can't confirm, but that does make sense in my head.
Where they use, yes, I think it was. I might be wrong, but I think it was. Like we found out that they wound up using athletes from the nearby schools. See, now I really wish I knew for sure that was the movie, because now the story is coming to my mind. It was whatever movie we were watching. They used athletes from the nearby schools to be their stunt performers because their actors were getting hurt.
Oh, that's crazy.
Editor's note is from the 1986 Journey to the West TV show, which we will cover in October.
And if I went and tried to Google that, I'm sure I'd get like something about a student dying on his high school football
No
team
kidding.
instead of
Mm-hmm.
or the Google AI would be like, oh yes, this happens all the time, and like come up with a whole bunch of fake examples of it. Like
Guys, I'm so sorry I missed it. Why are they on Kami Island? Did Yamcha just like find it?
They all keep just knowing where the next Dragon Ball is.
Well, yeah, because
Okay.
they blew all their original special effects budget on that first shot of the Dragon Radar.
Of the Dragon Radar, yeah. I was wondering where that was.
So they just keep going, the next one's over here, the next one's over here, but there's like no reason why they should know, they just do.
And
This is Dragon Ball Evolution.
Look at those moves.
He's got some moves, man.
My favorite part is the absolute silence.
Well,
no accompanying music, nothing.
Nothing.
I believe that's YouTube's fault.
It could be.
Oh, what if they used a copyrighted song? This was staying alive.
Yeah, I think it got.
That kind of makes it funnier, honestly.
So,
I'm only going to say it could be because I recently watched a movie called King Kong is Coming Back, I think it was called, where just large sections of the movie are legitimately without sound.
Wow.
Huh. How old's the movie?
Very new. See, my dumb kaiju friends get me to watch a lot of dumb movies, so it's like it's like one of those. Sometimes.
All right, that one doesn't
look
as good. It's kind of mostly just blocking out the shot.
Yeah.
They are establishing the rules, though, so
it's a good start.
It's surprising, like how like close they are to the story, but also like miles away at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like it's the broad strokes are very close, but every detail is wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like Yamcha being here, he's not even supposed to be here. That girl isn't that other random girl is not supposed to be here.
Yamcha also looks like, I don't know, Prince Valiant. He looks like the protagonist.
Not like a thief.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny you said Prince Valiant, and like in my brain, I was thinking Prince Valium from Spaceballs.
Yeah, that too. Also, okay. Everything is right and wrong at the same time. This is a paradoxical movie.
Yeah, it really is.
And Oolong's outfit, I'm pretty sure that's an outfit that Oolong might wear at some point. Or it's very, very close.
I was saying about Roshi, like Roshi wears a shirt similar to that's got that letter print on it when they first meet him, I think.
Yeah, it looks familiar.
It's very close, but it's also not right.
It's also wrong.
Yeah, I see what you mean about Oolong with the shirt with the pants and suspenders.
Yeah. And the short pants, yeah.
Look at that.
And the power pole of this is more inspired, I would say, by the As You Wish staff of Journey to the West, which had the bangles at the end of it, and is like it's a little more ornate than Goku's power pole, which is just a red staff.
Yeah.
I don't know why Roshi's got a snake on his.
I was going to say
about
that.
To bring that up too.
I thought it was just like a really big rock, like he's got on his regular staff, but it is just Jafar's thing.
It really is.
Also, like he's the master of the turtle school. Why a snake?
Why is it? Maybe he's the master of all reptilian life in this version.
Oh.
So the alligator earlier was one of his rogue students.
There you go.
Ooh.
Oh.
See? That's good. That's what this movie needs. Expanded lore.
It really does.
AU.
So yeah, Aladdin stole from this movie.
Not surprised.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
Yeah, I think the years line up.
Yep.
We should. If I could find out anything about who made this movie and why, I would be like, you guys need to sue Disney.
That's where the money's at.
Forget releasing your unlicensed movie on unsuspecting YouTube channels. just
after the mouse.
It's because they knew what they had and they wanted the masses to see it.
I thank them for that.
I do as well.
Who is this again?
Brandon Villager.
I do think that little girl is like in the Korean or the Taiwanese language. I think she is called Chi-Chi.
Okay.
So that
so she is supposed to be Chi-Chi. Okay.
Chi-Chi. Okay, this isn't a launch situation.
That's what I was wondering. But no, she's like about
so.
Goku's age. She's dressed like a princess, which technically Chi-Chi is.
True.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it would be pretty on brand to just forget that Launch is a character, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're not up to Launch yet. This is still the first. It's like the Pilaf arc.
Don't correct me. What?
I love this bird so.
It's really
much.
good because that voice had like direction attached to it. Somebody said I want it to sound exactly like this. What?
Everyone can just teleport.
Everyone can teleport.
Wait, if he can do that, what does he need Nimbus for?
This is Dragon Ball.
Because sometimes you just need to ride on a cloud.
That's true. I do that pretty regularly on the weekends.
Well, he is a thief. Okay. You're right. They get everything right, but also wrong. It's weird.
Yeah, every single thing.
And even like the costume itself, like you mentioned, he's dressed like a mythical prince, but then he has on biker gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
I like the subtle adjusting of his eyes. That was actually really good.
Yeah, that's got to be brand new for this release.
That guy probably hurt himself.
Yeah, he just fell backwards on rocks.
Yeah.
They are dedicated.
Please jump in the water.
Why jump in the water when you've got a sweet jet ski?
Yeah, look at that thing.
So yeah, we did get through. That was all of the. We got through all the notes I had for this, and that's kind of how it goes with these ones. It's like there's only so much you can find and say about a movie that no one's willing to talk about.
Yeah.
I am now. I'm a believer. The only thing I'm upset about is we haven't seen more villainy.
I know.
Yeah.
What are the bad guys?
Yeah, we're like
to,
2/3 of the way through this movie, and the villains haven't shown up again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We also don't really know what his plan is.
He probably
You're
wish
right.
for immortality or something, right?
We have no idea.
That's usually what it is.
He wants the dragon pearls because
Question mark.
I-
Question mark.
I'm not gonna spoil it because I don't want to reveal what the wish ends up being in the story arc. But I am
Okay.
curious to see if they stick with it or not.
Okay, as compared to the original.
Yeah.
Do you want me to spoil it at all?
I'm good watching. We'll get there in a few.
Okay.
I'm excited though.
It's much more pragmatic and practical, Bekinney.
Aw. Because honestly, if they stuck with the original wish, it would have been the perfect capstone.
Now they do something with the Dragon Balls and the dragon that nothing in Dragon Ball has ever insinuated or done in any way, shape, or form.
Interesting. Okay.
All right.
And it's not just the giant golden, poorly CGI'd Shenron.
Oh wow!
which is used to replace the giant golden, poorly puppeted Shenron of the 91 version.
Part of me really wants to see that now.
Right.
That I went and looked I went and looked that up because I was curious. That's what I was mostly curious, and what I kind of scanned through the 91 version because you could find that on YouTube very easily. And I just kind of scanned through, so I did miss whether there's anything in that earlier scene where Goku and Yamcha in CG battle each other. I didn't catch that part at all. But I did just at least go and look at the dragon itself, and it's like it's got too much of a glowy effect to it to be able to appreciate the shoddiness of the puppet.
Oh.
But it is like a fun, like I picked this version because it looks better as a transfer, like by a significant amount. The other one looks like a crappy VHS rip. This looks good. But the effects of the original version I find more charming. I'll point out there's like a moment in the climactic battle where there's like a beam clash, and it looks halfway decent in this. In the 91 version, the beams are like coming out of their like forearms and wrists instead of their hands. Like the rotoscoping is like misaligned.
Yeah. Oh, weird. Okay.
And I just find that like charming. You know, like someone decided they had to go back and fix that, and sure, that's fine or whatever. But I find like the shoddy effects work in stuff like this charming a lot of times because it's genuine. Someone was doing their best and just wasn't that good.
Yeah, their heart was hopefully in it, but it is interesting to see like the old way of doing things, like how they had to kind of get creative with it, but.
This guy.
Roshi is so Roshi. Like
they definitely cranked Roshi up to 11 on this one.
Yeah, 100%. No, hang on.
All right.
This guy is gotta take a dance break real quick.
Yeah.
This is I honestly, of all of the movies, I would never have thought a Dragon Ball movie would have a dance sequence.
Yeah.
Very different. Very different energy, but this guy is like Tim Robinson, where I can't look at him and not laugh.
Fair.
Yeah, Tim Robinson definitely has that look about him.
There's no...
Like I said...
Oh, okay. Well, that's just happening. They didn't introduce that there was music playing at all, and so I'm just imagining that they're... Why is that continuing? All right. I'm imagining that they're doing this with no backing music at all in universe.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
like on...
This is just happening.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like not... It's not diegetic music. It's just...
yeah.
The sound of waves.
Very different energy for Roshi than Tim Robinson, but just like I said, I can't, like, you look at this guy and just laugh.
Okay.
Wow.
And now, like,
somebody quick
like
flip
a turtle.
Him over.
That's so good.
Somebody quick flip him over before he passes away.
Oh, he spends the next like 5 minutes in this position. So while we're in a little bit of a lull, I want to mention for our listeners, because I'm not sure if I've talked about your guys' show in the past, I really like the episodes when Eric comes on. Those are just like to me, that's your hook, that's your shtick, that's your thing that's super unique to your show. So for our listeners, John and Spencer will like watch the show and give their opinions and their takes on it and everything, and then once they reach the end of an arc, they'll bring Eric in and they will play some kind of a game with him where either he has to ask them 20 questions and try to figure out something about the arc, or they give him very broad strokes details and he has to try and construct the arc himself. Things like that, where they try and play some kind of a game where Eric has to try and figure out what happened on the show, despite not watching it at all, because Eric hates Dragon Ball Z.
He hates it. He absolutely loathes everything having to do with Dragon Ball. And we've only made it worse because we've been exposing him to it over and over, and he despises it. But yeah, you're right. Like, I'd say 85% of our podcast is filler episodes, pretty much.
Oh yeah,
what
yeah,
you
exactly.
would consider filler. Just me and
Just
you
waiting
talking,
until we get
Spencer.
enough content to talk to Eric again.
Yeah. Yep.
And we just finished the Super Trunks saga, the Dragon Ball Super Trunks saga, and so you get to hear his opinions on that. And we've done all the arcs before that, including all of Dragon Ball Z.
Have you guys made good on the bet that you lost yet?
We were supposed to play a little bit. We're doing a convention in at the end of July, and we may hold off until we're actually in person. We'll see how it goes, but yes, that'll be. I've still got it downloaded. It's on my phone.
I haven't even downloaded it.
It's blowing my mind right now that they built this set and now they're blowing it up on top of that.
It's great, dude. This
is amazing.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why you build sets. So you can blow them up, blow them sky high.
Oh, dang. They dropped the pearls.
I didn't think this would be the kind of movie that have a budget for something like that.
No, the whole set, every set piece has surprised me for sure.
Hmm? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that works, huh?
Dang,
That's
look at Roshi
impressive.
go. Is the cloud just named Cloud in this?
Yeah, I think so.
Smoke cloud. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Wait, so that straight up just is Jafar's staff.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can laser it.
They should definitely sue Disney.
They have a strong case.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
He's got a thin mustache. He can also apparently do magic.
Teleport.
He's looking an
They also
awful
have a
lot
strong-
like Jafar.
They also have a strong case right there for suing.
No, it's just
Wow.
gone. They blew up the whole thing.
3
Oh!
different camera angles. It's gone. Kami House is gone.
Wow.
Wow. That's
That's
real.
a huge.
Yeah,
That's
Uh-huh.
a huge real explosion.
Wow.
It's pretty
One
dang
take. Nothing can go wrong. Here we go.
good.
With Roshi raising up his hands and blowing up ships like that, they also have a case against Lucasfilm when Rey blows up the ships in Rise of Skywalker.
It's true.
Oh yeah, definitely based on this one.
I would argue that this scene was better written, though.
I don't know anyone who would be against you in that argument. Not one person alive.
Hey, he lived and he got special
Hey.
swim trunks.
All right, I'm going to
The
need
Ninja
this guy
Turtles-
to not strut now with that underwear.
The Ninja
Mm.
Turtles also stole that sequence from him.
Yeah.
It's like it's like rip off Inception.
Wait, Yamcha looks like he's got a glow up. He looks like he's wearing a little makeup now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I didn't see any of? Remember we were watching Fight Son Goku, Win Son Goku, and it looked like he had like black makeup under his nose half the time?
Oh, yeah.
Like in his nostrils? I haven't seen anything like that.
That's kind of a weird choice.
It's a weird, because it's not in every shot with Goku, and so you're like, why why does his nose look weird right now? And it took us like half an hour until we were like, are they putting black makeup inside of his nostrils? This guy looks like Gordon Liu.
I kind of want to see if I can find sunglasses like that now.
They're really. I've been meaning to call him out. They're very crazy. He's rocking them. Don't get me wrong.
Those lenses look like they would like flip to the side.
Oh yeah, totally.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like they look like there's hinges on those lenses.
Absolutely, yeah. They've got to be prescription and optional sunglass attachment.
I'm wondering maybe if those are sunglasses that go over regular eyeglasses.
They kind of look like it, which is why I never bought any of those.
There's sunglasses that go over regular sunglasses.
There are, yeah. My grandma used to wear them. They don't look good.
I don't know, because I'm looking at this right now, and
Well, okay, yeah. There's exception to the rule, right?
and then this guy's everyone's shades are amazing.
It's true. Oolongs, Roshi's, this guy's forgot his name.
Yamcha had some when he first showed up.
Look
And
at that
then-
Rambo shot.
Whoa,
That's
all right,
incredible.
get him.
Oh, and a grenade! Yeah!
Get rid of
Yeah.
the Putty Patrollers. Do it. One of their helmets came off in that shot.
As appreciative as I am of keeping the story moving, it does feel like there was a sequence missing.
Yeah, the
they're
lock
just,
and
they're
load
just
sequence,
kind of all
right?
of a sudden assaulting, yeah.
Yeah,
Roshi's
of
got a
them
new
prepping
outfit.
to go or on their way or something. All that we go from Oolong has had the 7th Dragon Ball the whole time and just never told anyone because he was told to keep it a secret.
Yep.
To he is charging down this pier as Rambo.
He was the vanguard. He initiated the assault,
Mhm.
which is just not Oolong.
Also, I don't know if anyone else has noticed, Bulma's outfit changes every scene.
Yep.
Oh, for
Which
real?
is great.
Actually,
I just noticed
Yes.
it now, but I didn't know it was every scene. Because everybody has an outfit except for Yamcha and Goku. A new outfit.
Every
rather.
time there's a scene change, Bulma's outfit changes.
That is a great
And
touch.
that
I
was-
like that.
like an intentional nod, actually, or supposedly, to how often she changes outfits in the first arc of Dragon Ball.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
Oh,
And more just wanton destruction of their
I
sets.
love it, man.
And
It's all
It's great.
practical. Looks good. That's how you make something that's more timeless. I know that because they have a really crappy CGI fight scene in this movie.
I can't. This movie is breaking my brain. Because, like, we've been pointing out how everything is kind of correct, but also not correct. And
Uh-huh.
then, like, it's way higher budget than I
Oh.
was expecting. And
Harry
even, like,
Potter died.
Like, like all this fight
Oh, no.
choreography and stuff. It's like, what? This movie doesn't have any business being as good as it is.
No,
Girl
it really
who died
doesn't.
now. Yeah, seriously, the fights are amazing. They are amazing compared to so many other ones
Yeah.
in big budget movies. Like, very, very good fighting.
It feels
But,
like
uh,
the show. I think that's what's important.
Yeah.
when I feel like when cameras could do less because they were like so much bigger and bulkier,
hmm
you had and you had like less coverage with cameras, so you couldn't do as many cuts. You were forced to have better fight choreography.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I'd agree
Because
with
you had
that,
less-
yeah.
You had less places to hide.
Yep. You got to get more creative when there's more rules. I love that he can just do that. Shoot lasers out of his hands.
I mean, it's kind of their thing, right?
Yes, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I think what's really surprising about it is how much they just leaned into like what the actual show is.
Mhm.
I know this is supposed to be her like waiting to line up a shot, but it totally looks like she's being like, "Which one do I shoot?"
Right, yeah. Which one's
Can't
the
tell
real
apart.
Roshi?
They both have sunglasses.
Oh!
Oh!
Okay, yeah, get him.
That was
They
so
never
good.
introduced that he was a robot,
You
or was
thought
that
that-
just a man?
You thought the girl character was eliminated with extreme prejudice, and then that guy gets his. And again, the number of extras.
So many.
Yeah.
And we're shortly going to get like even more, where you're just going to be like, how did you get this many people? Did you just tell this town, wherever this town is, that like, hey, we'll film in your town if everyone agrees to be in our movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that definitely.
Whoa, out of nowhere.
I
There's
like
our
that
guy.
entrance. That's a good
That
one.
was
Yeah.
that's solid. King Horn. Man, this is like Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan.
Sure.
No, Roshi's gonna go down, and then the apprentice has to step
Oh.
up.
What do you think? You're some kind of
You-
writer?
you meant
You've seen a movie
emotional.
before?
Yeah, yeah. No, shot for shot. This is Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader. And go,
Oh,
Grandpa
it's
Gohan's
Grandpa!
still alive.
Oh!
He's clearly stronger than all of them. What does he need a hostage for?
Added emotional weight,
I
Yeah.
guess, yeah.
but
They have the
there's no
Dragon
reason.
Ball.
There's no reason he would have kept them alive, though.
They have the Dragon Ball, though. Hand over the Dragon Ball or I'll kill the old man.
Ah, that's true.
Because they do establish earlier that, like, they're like, oh, we'll destroy the Dragon Pearl before we let you get it.
Yeah.
Also, his pants and boots are fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luscious.
Which is, I was going to say, is not a thing in Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball, I always got the feeling that the balls themselves were essentially unbreakable.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Didn't Krillin go to punch and break the Namekian Dragon Ball on Namek at some point?
Oh, maybe
He tried,
Yeah, yeah,
he
he
like
did.
tried, and then
maybe.
And then
Burger
there's also
stole it
that
from him.
point when Vegeta and Nappa show up on Earth and Nappa blows up that city, and Vegeta's like, hey, what if one of the Dragon Balls was there?
yeah, idiot, what are you doing? He's like, oh yeah, right, sorry. Yeah.
But they also do establish in one of the filler episodes that like fake ones break easily and real ones are very difficult
True.
to break.
Whoa, it's the whole village.
Whoa.
Wait, what is happening?
There's even more.
What are they, ghosts? What is this? With
They
the blue
are-
tint.
they-
Look at how many people there are.
Wow. That's quite the wow.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's like, we'll come film in your city, but the whole city has to be in the movie.
Why is this happening? Is this what the
He's
blue,
got a
the
mind control beam.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. It's a little creepy, I'll be honest. There's some... Yeah.
Whoa! All of a sudden, it's a zombie movie.
All right. Was not expecting this turn at all.
Wait a minute.
Whoa,
I thought
yeah.
the father was dead.
No. I don't think so. Oh, now I can't remember. Neither can the movie.
Yeah, exactly. What is continuity at this stage?
You're right. I don't know why I'm even bothering to think about this. I should
Yeah.
be sitting back and enjoying it.
Nice.
Get outta
nice.
here.
Good call.
Go get some Burger King. Screw this. Oh, they're all dead again.
Whoa! Wow.
Resurrection averted.
Oh, please let Oolong wins this the whole movie.
Look at that stance.
He's got a good stance.
Oh man,
that's
Oolong's
great.
got hands.
That's great.
Mm.
in the Korean one, the guy who plays Oolong is wearing like a giant mascot Oolong head.
That is hilarious.
That sounds
and has to
amazing.
do like just as much fight choreography, and you can tell half the time he cannot see anything out of that mask.
Beam struggle.
Oh, give him your energy.
Whoa. That's what the cartoon's missing, man.
Absolutely.
Somebody giving Goku a back massage while he's in
Being
the middle
able
of a beam
to
struggle.
Yeah, being
Agreed.
able to like power train.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
What?
that was an interesting turn of events.
Wait, he ate the Dragon Ball and
So,
then exploded?
They never establish via any action, but he has, they say it in a piece of dialogue, someone might have been talking over it, he has swallowed the other 6.
Oh. I saw them in the box and I thought that was the end of it. What?
Oh, okay.
Summoning Shenron breaks where he comes out of. That's fantastic.
That's the thing I was talking
Yeah,
about. Like,
that's really
that's never
good.
happened in,
That would
in
be
Dragon
that's
Ball
hilarious.
before.
What a cool idea. That's Shenron's voice.
Hey guys,
And,
it's Shenron.
and face.
Perfect.
Kind of wish you want.
Well, in the listeners can look forward to this episode in the future. When we did the unofficial novelization, it was stated that Shenron was from New Jersey.
Oh.
That's great.
And that part of the adventure passed through Jefferson City in Missouri.
Mm. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, and that being a magical wish dragon was he did it because it was a tax write-off.
Oh. Yeah. Yep. There's a clause about
but so yeah,
that.
she wishes to restore her village. That's all that it is.
That's not bad. That's a very Dragon Ball
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z sort of wish. Good guy wish.
Yeah. It's not as ridiculous as the original wish.
The original wish? Oh, the one in the
original
manga.
Wish. Yeah, the original wish is Oolong sneaking up behind Pilaf and stealing the wish.
Oh,
and
that's
wishing for
where
a
that
pair of
comes
girls'
from.
Panties.
Okay. Oh, a credits
Oh.
after credits
Wait,
fight scene.
Wait! So fight scenes that weren't even in the movie, we just get for free
You
in,
just
in
get
the
for
credits.
free. Yeah, that's fantastic. Look at that. Oh,
Yes, this was
the suit up with the insignia.
when you watch the original version, it just freeze frames when Goku and Yamcha clash.
I think that's honestly a better way to end it with the freeze frame. I think it's kind of like the
Instead
adventure's
of-
going to continue and they're friends now, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, instead of all this test footage,
yeah, yeah.
they just decided
Listen,
to
they're
throw
like,
in.
someone was like, I had to render this.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
gonna use it.
The
My
old
computer
guy
was down for 7 months, okay? I'm
The old
putting
guy
it in
that
the back
funded
of
it,
this.
he just needed to
It's like
see these
one
two people
guy-
fight.
One guy who's just being like ground to death trying to do the special effects on this
Uh-huh.
re-release.
Oh man,
Wow.
So yes,
what a movie!
that was
That was
Dragon Ball: The
fantastic.
Magic Begins.
Wow.
yeah. Thank you guys for having us on for this. That was
Sincerely, that was glorious.
truly a pleasure to watch. That was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah,
This
thanks
was
for
a good
coming
time.
on and being here. It's
How-
always, especially with something like this, where I was like, I'm not gonna, like, we usually, like I said, we're a little more structured. We have more notes. I was like, we're not gonna have enough notes to talk for 90 minutes about this.
Yeah, which is it's fine. It was nice, especially with that climax, man. Being able to just like watch that crazy fight scene.
Absorb.
There is a lot about this movie that I really, really like. You can tell it was made by a lot of people that apparently vanished, but that were passionate about the source material.
Yeah.
So when we do movies or anything that we end up putting a rating system on, we do it out of 7 Dragon Balls.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Because that's, why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah,
That makes sense.
it's perfect.
And I'll also let you guys know what we do if you guys so choose, because I think I will. When we encounter something that is like so bad that it's good, quite frankly, we use Black Star Dragon Balls.
That's nice.
So
Good touch.
So the more bad that it's amazing that it is, the more Black Star Dragon Balls you give it, right? So if you were to encounter something that was like so perfectly terrible that it just melted your mind and was amazing, that's like a 7 out of 7 Black Star Balls.
Okay. Very nice.
I will give this, and this version of this especially, a 6. It looks way better than it has any business looking, and I will say that's not the effects, that is the actual like transfer. The set pieces are way better than this movie has any business having for set pieces, and it's like just really, really fun, and there's a lot of creativity. I take the points off because I would just prefer the original like non-CG effects. And there's also some like, and I know it's weird to come at a movie that's so clearly low budgeted, but there is some rough pacing right around that like 1 hour mark where you start asking, what's the villain up to?
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
don't worry
I am
about
at
that.
a 6.
We
I'm at a 6 out of 7 Black Star Balls. I'll kick it over to Spencer and find out what your thoughts are.
I'll do 6 as well, but I think they're real Dragon Balls. They're the Red Star. I gotta hand it to this movie. Like, taking it in the context of the time that it was made and what it's representing, I think it's like an amazing adaptation. Like, compared to some of the stuff that like American audiences get with a cartoon to live action adaptation. They clearly knew the source material, including like the parts of the source material that I personally don't enjoy. Like a lot of the stuff on Roshi's Island, with that's just not appealing to me as an anime watcher. So, but you know, it still had that in there. Like you got to take it all, you know? So it had that Dragon Ball spirit, which I really liked. And I take points off because I totally agree. The CGI additions, when they're subtly done, they're nice. But those 2 fight scenes were just like amazing, but took me out of the movie. And they're just part of the re-release, right? So I don't really count that against the movie as a whole, because when it was originally made, that wasn't in the plan. So take points off there. Take points off, like you said, around Roshi's Island. That sequence goes on a little bit too long. You could cut that down by about half, and you'd get a much more like almost a perfect viewing experience, because the beginning's good, moves along good pace, end is good, moves along pace, but that Roshi's Island stuff needs to be trimmed up. I say that about like a 30-year-old movie or whatever, but it's solid experience. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, I would actually recommend it. Just as like a fun thing to just have on one night, because it gets me excited about the source material, and anything that gets me excited about what I'm watching is just awesome. So that made me happy to be a Dragon Ball fan.
Excellent. Well, John, what about you?
I don't know. I've been sitting here thinking about it the whole time, and I'm like, I adore everything about this movie. The worst parts are the best parts, and the best parts are the best parts. Everything that they did wrong was correct, and everything that they did correct was also correct. I love it. I adored every piece of it. So 7 Super Dragon Balls, 7 Black Star Dragon Balls, 7. I'm giving it full marks because
7 Namekian Dragon Balls.
Yes, every Universe 6 Dragon Balls, every kind of ball should 7 pearls, because
Ooh, there you
Oh,
go. There you go.
that's good.
Yeah.
it was really good. And I'm saying it both in like the context of watching it as a bad movie, also watching it as a weird, almost historical record. And
that is a
I think
thing.
what made it better probably was hearing your notes, hearing you go over the history of the industry there and all of the weird little inconsistencies and the political affiliations, and how we can't find anything about the people that actually made this. Also amazing. So the whole structure came together to make it a solid 7.
It's good.
For
Yeah, it
me.
was a good viewing
Would
experience
recommend.
for sure. Yep.
Excellent.
Yes.
We'll finish it off with you, Bekinney.
Yeah.
All right.
one left.
I'm not gonna belabor the point because I think you guys have done an excellent job of doing that already, and I'm in John's camp. This is a 7 out of 7 for me. This is an incredible experience.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Just so
and
solid.
then I'll segue, since this is our 100th episode, since you gave me a nice little bit at the beginning there, Jelly. This whole podcasting experience, the 4 years that we've been doing this, has been incredible. This is a whole world that I didn't even know existed until you introduced me to it. You've brought me along on this journey. We've gone and done panels and stuff now, and watching this sort of grow around just our passion for this has been incredibly rewarding. And thank you so much for bringing me along on this.
Yeah, and it's been awesome. I've like my previous podcast that I did before this, by this point I was burned out, I was done, and we had quit. And I have at no point along these 100-ish or so episodes felt like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. So
right back at you, man.
Here's to another 100 for sure.
Hey, raising my glass right now.
By the way, the very end credits of this movie say copyright My Way Film Company. And when I go and look that up, I'm going to have to, there may be an addendum to this commentary, because when I go and look that up, I find a bunch of information about when it was founded, who the president is, a website that I can go to. Donnie Yen started his career working as a script writer for this company.
It's like, what? That's crazy.
Wow.
That's awesome, guys. It sounds like you'll have something to follow up on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not a complete mystery.
Donnie Yen started his career as the director of the movie New Big Boss for My Way Film Company.
Awesome.
This is insane. Okay, now if I ever meet Donnie Yen, I'm going to be like, hey, by the way.
Right.
Everyone's going to be like, John Wick. And I'm going to be like, whoa, hang on. Did you know you started your career working for a company that made a knockoff Dragon Ball
Tell me
movie?
about The Magic Begins, please.
Oh, but thank you, John and Spencer, for coming on with us. It was fun. It really was.
Dude, no
This was a
problem at
good
all.
time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Seriously.
It's cool to talk to some more Dragon fans out there and grow our little community of people that we've talked to, and just kind of keep getting different perspectives. I really like that too.
Yeah, man. John and I were actually talking about it when we recorded the other day, but we got us Dragon Ball podcasters got to stick together, right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. It's the I think for sure it's the Bekinney. You know the saying what it actually is. It's like a rising tide raises all boats or something like that.
Oh yeah,
you got it.
I have heard that before.
We all benefit. Like when any of us help each other out, we all benefit,
Mhm.
right?
That's right.
So thank you guys for coming. And let's see, we do have one more knockoff movie to look at. Eventually, it'll be maybe a little bit, but it's called Super Kid, and it's animated this time. And when I first explained the premise of it to Bekinney, he's like, that's not Dragon Ball at all. And then I like made him go look up the poster for it, and he's like, oh no, that's Dragon Ball. Like, so we have one more bootleg Dragon Ball property to look at. Will it be as rewarding as The Magic Begins? Find out next time and help us achieve our final forum.
Final Form is written and produced by Tom Gwelly. It is performed by Dan Kinney and Tom Gwelly. Our webmaster is Dan Kinney. Our theme music is provided by YouTube content creator GVG Kid. Want to learn more about the Dragon Ball universe, including concept art, behind-the-scenes interviews, and recommendations from Jelli and Bekinney? Connect with us on social media. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Final Forum Pod. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you receive your podcasts. And of course, make sure to share it with your friends and family and help us spread the word of the glory of Lord Frieza. The Frieza Force thanks you for your listenership.